And tensions are rising across the Arabian Sea after a US Navy F-35C shot down an Iranian drone that officials say made an aggressive approach toward the USS Abraham Lincoln. The White House has confirmed the aerial engagement, calling it a defensive action under established rules of engagement. Despite the mid-sea intercept and rising Gulf tensions, Washington says diplomacy is still in motion, with US Envoy Steve Witkoff expected to hold talks with Iranian counterparts later this week. A military flashpoint in the sky, but the diplomatic channel for now remains open. So tensions are rising across the Arabian Sea after a US Navy F-35C shot down an Iranian drone. My colleague Rohit Sharma is with us with more details on this. Rohit, over to you.
Well, we got the news today in the afternoon that the CENTCOM announced that there was a US F-35 fighter that shot down a Shahid drone model, and this happened over the Arabian Sea. It was an Iranian recon drone which was shot down, and press secretary essentially said that this was an aggressive approach by the Iranians, and the F-35 that was launched by the USS Abraham Lincoln took the action to make sure that this drone does not get close to USS Abraham Lincoln. So they launched a F-35C fighter from USS Abraham Lincoln, and they shot down the Iranian drone, which has been now identified as the as 139 Shahid model. Again, very importantly, this happened. This is happening in the backdrop of we have been told that the U.S. is talking to the Iranians. It was also confirmed by the White House press secretary that Steve Witkoff is still expected to be having these conversations with the Iranian this week. So I think America is playing both the game here, in the sense of, hey, look, if you try to escalate things with us, we'll obviously give you an answer on that. But we really want to get some kind of agreement done. And if that's not done, if the U.S. demands are not met, which were three, which is first, stop the nuclear program, hand over all the uranium, and then third is reduce the stockpiles in terms of missiles and your security. So I think this is, again, kind of an escalation scene from the United States standpoint. F-35 fighters shooting down an Iranian recon drone over the Arabian Sea today, and Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt confirming that this actually took place. But at the same time, U.S. is still expected, the U.S. Ambassador Steve Witkoff is still expected to be holding conversations with the Iranians to see if there could be an agreement, something that President Trump has said in the past as well, that U.S. will continue to talk with the Iranians, and if they don't, then there are other options available to the President of the United States. Anjali.
Right, Rohit, and what is the update on the bilateral ties between US and Iran, as US claims that the diplomatic channels are still open, diplomacy is still very much in action?
Well, exactly what I was saying, Anjali, right? We've seen that there have been back channel talks going on for over 2 weeks now, is what we've learned. And then this is exactly why Steve Witkoff was dispatched to the Middle East to have conversations with the Iranian to understand if there could be some sort of an agreement reached with the Iranians. And remember, this is not Venezuela. I think Americans also do understand that things are different with Iran. They are more equipped than the Venezuelans. There could be a wider conflict in the region if the US does take any kinetic action. So I think there is some sense of understanding on both ends. That would be nice if this could be resolved diplomatically. And that is exactly what is going on. But as President Trump has said, the US will have and does retain all the options. And that if talks don't go through, then I think the President of the United States will somehow take an action, which again, he said multiple times in the past month.
All right, Rohit, thank you so much for all those details. So despite this defensive action that has been taken by United States still claims that the diplomatic channels are still open and the diplomacy is still in action as far as Iran is concerned.